1980, Williams was awarded the honorary doctorate of law degree, which also apologized for the treatment she was subject to as a student. Also in Black history, did you know that there are 230 female firefighters fighting for the Miami-Dade? Also, as we look back in history, how many of you all know why do y'all eat black-eyed peas on New Year's? Because I know people say, we're going to eat black-eyed peas and we're going to eat cabbages, but I'm like, why is we eating black-eyed peas? I really don't know. So I happened to run by reading, and I'm going to tell y'all what it says. Okay, so it says that most Southerners will tell you that this culinary custom dates back to the Civil War. Black-eyed peas were considered animal food. These peas were not deemed worthy of serving the general and his troops. When Union soldiers raided the Confederate food supplies, legend says that they took everything except the peas and the salted meat. So the Confederates considered themselves lucky to be left with those kind of supplies, and they survived the winter. And the peas became a symbolic luck for them. And so it was good luck for them to eat those peas. So leaving those peas, it was actually a survival. And so now we can take that as a survival. And for the year, it's made for good luck for us. Did you know that black-eyed peas dropped on trails or near the river edges were a warning sign that it was not safe to move about? The peas indicated that patrollers, slave traders, and others was looking for runaways were in the vicinity, and there were too many eyes watching or too many people looking for runaways. And that concludes my looking back in history. And it also has a together moving towards the future. Now I just want to say this for as moving towards the future. We have smaller children that we are looking forward to going on and being great things in life. Let's and keep encouraging them in things that they want to do, things that we see them trying to do. Let's encourage them. If they want to do hair, hey, buy them some gel or something. I mean, let's just keep encouraging them to do what they want to do. They want to be scientists. Do things that encourage them. Talk to them about things that scientists do. Young ladies who are nurses, children who want to become nurses, talk to them about things that you're going through as a nurse and what you had to go through. Railroad conductors, real estate, whatever that you see these children are trying to do out here, encourage them and push them towards their dreams and let them know that they can do it. With God, all things are possible. Amen. And I just want to welcome you all out here to our Black history, and I pray that y'all will find things interesting and knowing things that y'all learned today. Oh, how I love calling your name. Sometimes we have to call Jesus in the midnight hour, in the early morning, but no matter when you call him, he's right on time. Now we have Who Am I by class 2A and 2B. Give our children a hand clap for this.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Yeah. All right, so we have our lovely class from 2A to B, and we're just gonna do a kind of like a Who Am I, and y'all can kind of like chime in. So they're gonna be acting it out. Me and Silo, we're just gonna read it off, okay? All right, so the first person, like I said, this is a Who Am I, and anyone is welcome to answer, okay? It says, I was an American collegiate and professional basketball player. I'm 7'2", tall center who dominated the game during the 70s and early 80s. I set a UCLA scoring record with 56 points in my first game, and I also led UCLA to 3 NCAA championships. I didn't even have to finish that one. He is correct. So the person that I was describing, it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. For the longest, after kind of like looking that up, I did not know that was his actual name, but he was Islam and he changed his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So correct. Thank you. There you go. All right, so the second one we have, it says, I am the first black woman millionaire in America, and I made a fortune thanks to a homemade line of care products I created for black women. This line was founded based on my personal journey of hair loss due to a scalp disorder. My line, known as the Walker System, is involved in scalp preparation, lotions, and iron combs. I know y'all history. Good job. All right, so the next one that I have, I'm gonna let Silo read this one.
I am a guy from Georgia who played professional baseball with Kansas City Monarchs of the Negro American League. While playing, I drew attention to the president and manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers. I later signed with
You're like, yeah, I'm done. Good job, Sally. Good job. All right, the last one we have is I'm a woman from Tuskegee, Alabama. I courageously sat in front of a bus, which eventually filled with whites. When asked to move into the back, I refused. I was transported to jail. Good job. I heard somebody else back there in the back. Was it a baby? Good job. And I also learned from one of our students, she looked it up herself, but she told me that, what was her name, Lane? Claudette. So it was another young lady before Rosa Parks that I wasn't aware of, but she found out and she told me that Claudette, she was only 15, and she actually did the same thing that Rosa did, and Rosa basically, her significance in like what she was doing at the time, was able to pass the boycott as far as like the movement for public transportation for integration. So I just want to kind of like give the class a round of applause. They'll be back to see you guys for the Thursday presentation.
Jackie, Robinson, and Rosa, and Miss Claudette. We thank y'all for y'all presence today.
Amen.
And now we have a MLK presentation by Brother Arthur. Amen. All right, let's give him a hand.
Give honor to God, Pastor Bobo, deacon, pastors, deacons, choir, motherboard, everybody in the facility. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be in God's house. Amen. 1955, August 28th, in 1955, Emmett Till in Sumner, Mississippi was murdered. August 28th, 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood on the memorial steps in Washington, D.C., and he delivered the iconic speech, I Have a Dream. I am here today in HOPEWELL Church to deliver Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. entire speech, word for word, in his entirety, as he said it on those steps that day.
Come on now.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous degree came as a great beacon light of hope for millions of Negro slaves who've been seared in the flames of withering injustice. This came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night in their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still languishes in the corners of American society, finding himself in exile in his own land. But we come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we come to our nation's capital to cash a check by which the architects of this republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and Declaration of Independence. They were signing a promissory note that all Americans were to fill there. This note was a promise to all men, yes, black men as well as white men, to be guaranteed the unalienable right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But it is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note in so much as the citizens of color are concerned. And instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check. A check that has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe there are insufficient funds in the great vault of opportunity of this nation. So we come here to cash this check. A check that will give us on demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. So we come here now to this hollow spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. For this is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off, nor take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise above the dark and deadly valley of segregation to the sunlit paths of racial justice. For now is the time to lift our nation above the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. For now is the time to make justice It will be fatal for our nation to overlook the urgency of this moment. This sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there's a vigorating ultimate freedom and equality. All right. 1963 is not an end but a beginning. For those who hope the Negro needs to blow off steam and will now be content, will be in for a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual. There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwind of revolt will continue to shake the foundation of this nation until the daylight of justice emerges. For there's something I must say to my people. The one who stands in the warren threshold is heading to the palace of justice. In this process of gaining our rightful place, let us not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking out of the cups of bitterness and hatred. We shall forever conduct our struggle on the highest planes of dignity and discipline. We shall not allow our creative protests to degenerate into physical violence, for again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. This marvelous new militancy that has engulfed our Negro community must not lead us to distrust of all white people. As many of my white brothers as present are here today have come to realize that their destiny is tied in our destiny. They've come to realize that their freedom is equally bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. And as we walk, we must make the pledge that we will always march ahead. We cannot turn back. And for those who are asking our devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro is a victim of unspeakable horrors of police brutality. We cannot be satisfied as long as our bodies, heavy from the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging into the motels of the highways or hotels of the cities. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We cannot be satisfied as long as our children are robbed of their adulthood and stripped of their dignity with signs stating for whites only. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro of Mississippi cannot vote and the Negro of New York feels he has no reason which to vote. No, we cannot be satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like the mighty streams. Now, I'm not unmindful that some of you come here today from great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas by which your quest for freedom has left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have become the veterans of created suffering. So continue to work that faith that unarmed struggle is redemptive. So go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to those slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing this situation can and it will change. We cannot continue to wallow in the valley of despair. So I say to you today, my friends, even though we're faced with difficult times of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. A dream that is deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. These truths we hold to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream today. I have a dream that been down in Mississippi, a state that is sweltering with the heat of oppression, sweltering with the heat of injustice, will one day be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, even down in the state of Alabama, with his vicious racists, with his governor having his lip dripping with the words of independence and nullification. Right there in the state of Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls and sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley will be exalted. Every hill and mountain will be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked place will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all of God's flesh will see it together. This is my hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. Because with this faith, we will be able to hear out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to discord the unjangling chords of our nation to a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we'll be free one day. This will be the day. Oh, this will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty of thee I see. Land where my father died, where the pilgrims heard on every mountainside. Let freedom ring. And if our nation is going to become great, these things must become true. So let freedom ring. From the Prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the high allegations of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the convergent slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain in Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain in Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill in Mississippi, every mountainside. Let freedom ring. Once this happens, once we allow freedom to ring, once we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day with all of God's children, black men, white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will everybody join hands and sing the words of that old Negro spiritual. Free at last, great God Almighty. We're free at last.
Thank you, Brother Arthur, amen, for that wonderful MLK presentation. I almost became absent out of Hopewell and thought I was sitting on the steps. And that was very enlightening. I want to say thank you. And still, so many years later, still we fight for freedom. Still we are fighting for freedom. And still today, we're going to cash out our checks of freedom through Christ Jesus. We are free through Christ Jesus. We can unblock our minds and be free from prison of our minds through Jesus. Everything that we need to fight with is through Jesus. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you once again. Thank you. Let's give him another hand. Come on, Hopewell. Let's sing. And after Hopewell, we'll have our future leaders from the children of Hopewell. And we will have, after that, we'll have Remembering the Past, Inspiring Our Future, our Sister Board. And after Sister Board, we'll have